the NBA lottery. Yes, the same Dallas Mavericks that traded away Luka Doncic, that has Anthony Davis, that has Kyrie Irving, that has, Derek Lively, that had a less than 2% chance to win the lottery. They won. Now, as a Wizards fan, born and raised in the DMV, so as a Wizards fan, it sucks that your team can be as bad as they were last year and ultimately have a 14% chance of getting the number one overall pick and ending up getting the sixth pick. Sixth pick. Same with the Utah Jazz, who I think had the worst record. And I think they had the 7th or 8th or something like that. And then the Charlotte Hornets, I believe, had the 5th pick or something. I will say this. It's no coincidence that one thing that we also have to understand is that the NBA is a business. And in that business, it would behoove that business to have a team fall into obscurity. Now, yes, there are teams that fall into obscurity, i.e. the Utah Jazz, the Washington Wizards, something like the Charlotte Hornets. But it would behoove the NBA to allow a team to fall into obscurity. And this is what I mean. There have been 3 instances where you can point to the NBA lottery landing in the favor of a team that may or may not, let's say, have deserved it. Back in 2011, the the New Orleans Pelicans, Charlotte Hornets at the time, or New Orleans Hornets, traded Chris Paul to the LA Clippers. That next year, they got the number 1 overall pick, ultimately was Anthony Davis. In 2019, the New Orleans Pelicans traded Anthony Davis to the LA Lakers. That same year, they got the number 1 overall draft pick that ended up being Zion Williamson. And this year, 2025, the Dallas Mavericks trade Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers. And they just so happen to win this year's draft. Again, I'm not definitively saying that it's rigged. But when you trade a franchise player, or when you make the decision to trade a franchise player, that is the risk that you run. That's why a lot of people were so adamant in voicing their frustration with someone like Nico Harrison. Because it's like, how do you trade the future of a franchise? It's very rare that happens. We just saw 3 instances. And the difference between those instances, the difference between, the Hornets trading Chris Paul, the Pelicans trading Anthony Davis, is they were pretty much, I'm not going to say the end, but there was multiple chances, and they weren't 20 something years old. Another argument that I'm hearing, and it makes sense, is the combat against tanking and how tanking has been a huge issue in the NBA, and they just don't want that to overcome. Like they don't want you to reward tanking by getting a top draft pick, getting a number 1 overall draft pick. And in one hand, I agree. In one hand, I understand how nasty the game looks with tanking and how bad it is as a viewer to watch a tanking team. But on the other hand, as a fan of a team that is not good, the Wizards haven't been good, honestly, since John Wall was there. And even in that, the Wizards were good, but they were never championship caliber team. They were never a championship caliber team. They were just good enough to make the playoffs, maybe good enough to make the second round, but never a championship caliber team in my lifetime. That's even going back to Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler, Anton Jameson, Brandon Haywood. They were good teams, but they were never a championship caliber team. The lottery is supposed... See, the one thing that is blatantly clear is you can say one thing, but your actions are always going to speak louder than your words. And people can say that they want an even playing field. They want parity in the league. They want every team to have an equal shot of winning it all. But that's not the case when you look at players. Hell, when you look at the conferences and look at how different the West looks like from the East, that should tell you all you need to know. Why do you think that we're thinking, or the NBA is thinking about changing the All-Star weekend again or changing the playoff format? Because most of the stars are on the West. Or are in the West. I think that Cooper Flagg winning, or the Dallas Mavericks winning winning the NBA lottery couldn't be better for Cooper Flagg. You go to a team that has two former champions. It just sucks, man. Obviously I'm gonna feel some type of way as a Wizard fan, but it sucks because, like, you hear there's also an argument saying that the NBA should adopt what the NFL does. Is just if you have the worst record, you automatically have the first round pick or first pick. But that can't be the same group that says tanking is bad, because teams are going to for sure tank. But the lottery is, I'm not going to say it's rigged, but it is. It's not. It's a crazy coincidence that the team that just traded away their star in Luka Doncic just got the number 1 overall pick in the same year. And this is remember when Anthony Davis was traded, that same year the Pelicans got the number 1 overall pick. And it's not like they traded Luka Doncic to a team that was just terrible and could have. They traded to the Lakers. Anthony Davis was traded to the Lakers. Chris Paul back in the day was traded to the Clippers. It's frustrating, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I do think it's if you want to call it a coincidence, go right ahead. But the Dallas Mavericks winning the same Dallas Mavericks has had a heap of criticism ever since that trade. now owns the number 1 overall pick. Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.